Very well, Counsel. You may call the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Commissioners, I recall Permanent Secretary Finance, Mr. Jallo.
We started with Abdullah Jallo.
Sorry?
I do apologize. I thought Mr. Jallo, yesterday we could not tender the documents that you brought in. We were supposed to also confirm the disbursement of the $5 million for the generator set that you could not find at NAWEC. Were you able to confirm where the disbursement was made of this $5 million?
Yes, I was able to confirm that the disbursement was made to a central bank of the Gambia account that is maintained with at the Federal Reserve Bank.
It is maintained with the?
I was able to confirm that the $5 million was disbursed to the central bank. Let me find out It was disbursed to a central bank account, and the account number is 02108 3970.
3970.
70. Yeah, that is the account they have maintained at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
It was deposited in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, which is a central bank account.
The central bank account.
And this account number that you've given us is an account number for the federal.
For the central bank account maintained with the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Okay.
But what we could not establish for now is who was the beneficiary of this disbursement. It went into a central bank account, but the ultimate beneficiary we could not establish. Time was too short, so they are still trying to retrieve the information.
It was supposed to have been disbursed to Malice Blackstone for the generator.
Yes.
What you have been able to confirm is that no generator was supplied by Malice Blackstone.
Exactly.
Were you able to confirm whether a generator of this size was purchased in this year? That is 2000.
In 2000, I could not confirm that.
All right, we will get NAWEC to come. Okay, thank you. Now, you have given us documentation in relation to 4 of the loans.
Okay.
But the first loan, which is the $35 million loan in 1995, we do not have any documents from you.
Yes.
In terms of disbursement, when it comes to projects or procurement of this size, what role does your ministry play in terms of the disbursement of the loan or the monitoring of the project?
Each one of them, because the $25 million was disbursed through a supplier's credit arrangement. But under a normal procedure, what needs to be done is we have to follow our tender procedures. It should be tendered, and the most responsive bidder is, once they establish the most responsive bidder, then a contract is awarded and signed. During the implementation of the project, it's normally supervised by an independent consultant who is working for the government of the Gambia. And it's this supervisor that authorizes the payments. So once these payments and the supporting documents are authorized or certified by the consultant, those supporting documents should be forwarded to the Ministry of Finance. And we use those supporting documents to request for a payment from the creditor. This is the standard procedure.
But with regard to these loans that you have provided, the loan agreements that you have provided, let's start with the 35 million. Yeah. Did you play any role at all in the disbursement of this loan, the Ministry of Finance, or the monitoring of this loan?
We do not have any evidence that the Ministry of Finance was involved in the monitoring of this loan.
And the loan of 5 million?
And the loan of 5 million as well.
What about the 25 million for the 3 generator sets and the distribution network that you described?
At least for that one, unless I confirm, but we are able to verify that the generators were there and payments were also effected.
But you were able to verify that through a physical inspection at NAWEC. Now what I want to know is that whether you have a record in your ministry that you were involved in the disbursement of this loan and that it went through the process that you have just described.
Unless I...
okay, you cannot as of now.
Yes, yeah, but I can provide it later.
At this stage, we would like to be, for you to continue to do your search on these issues. But meanwhile, I'll just show you these documents again because these are photocopies for you to confirm that these were the four loan agreements that you testified on yesterday. You also produced some documentation concerning the microfinance and capacity building project loan, as well as the technical and vocational education training project loan, which I have attached to those loan agreements. Just confirm them so we can have them turned.
This is the $5 million loan.
Just confirm that everything is in the bundle because yesterday you already gave evidence. Okay. Yes.
Yes, these were the documents.
Kindly collect the documents and give it. Mr. Jallo, substantial grants from so far the evidence that we've been able to collect, substantial grants were also made by Taiwan, and there was a protocol that was signed. It would appear in 1999. Was your ministry aware of the grants that were being made by the Republic of Taiwan?
Well, our experience is that most of the grants that were signed were actually handled by the Office of the President. To my knowledge, the Minister of Finance is largely involved in development assistance relating to only loans. Those are the information we mainly have at the ministry. But certainly grants were mainly handled by the Office of the President.
I will show you a document. This is not in evidence, Mr. Chairman. It's not copied to your ministry. But the document it says it's from the Taiwan embassy at the time. It said addressed to Foreign Affairs, which refers to a protocol on cooperation between the Republic of China and the Republic of Gambia. Do you know anything about this protocol?
No.
It's dated 5 July 1999. There's a second letter dated 9 May 2000, which indicates a protocol was signed and the first year disbursement was $9 million. And it was to be for 10 years.
Okay.
Every year. What is your ministry involved in grants at all? Grants that are given to the government of the Gambia?
For most of our, yes, we are fully involved in grants giving to the government of the Gambia.
Are there any requirements when it comes to grants?
Yes, because all these development assistance should be included in our estimates that we present to the National Assembly for approval. So by extension, we must be involved in all kinds of development assistance provided, especially financial assistance provided to the government of the Gambia.
How is it? How are they required to be treated, this development assistance?
It depends. If it is a loan, we treat them as loan. If it is a grant, they are treated.
If it's a grant, I mean.
This is a grant, then we treat them as, we have a section called revenue and grants, so that is where we treat them.
Sorry, called what?
Revenue and grants.
Revenue and grants?
Yes.
At your ministry?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are accounted for under their appropriate heads and subheads.
Now, during this period from 1995, or let's say 1999 to 2013, when the relationship with Taiwan was terminated, did your ministry, or was your ministry involved in the allocation of grants or the making of grants by Taiwan to Gambia government and the funds that came in and so on?
You mean after 2013?
No, before. I mean from 1999.
Yeah. We were involved, especially with the, you can see that some of the agreements I gave you were signed by the Minister of Finance, the loan agreements.
I'm talking about grants. Were you involved in
No,
the grants?
no, not
You are not involved in any way?
No, you know, the other loan I gave you, that is the TVET loan. The TVET loan has a
Grant
grant
component.
element, has a
Yes.
grant component of it.
Apart
because
from
it is
this
tied to a loan, but apart from that, no.
Apart from this, none.
No. Not to my, no.
Okay. You don't have a record of the grants that came
No,
in?
we don't have a record of those loans.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted a summary prepared by this witness? Did you sign it? Yes. And sign of loans made to the government of the Gambia by Taiwan from 1995. We have no documents for the first loan of $35 million. The rest of the bundle of documents is with regard to the 4 loans made thereafter in the sum of $5 million, $25,542,000 United States dollars, and a microfinance loan, as well as a loan for technical, vocational training. Let me just confirm it. Technical and vocational education and training projects. By the way, did you ever visit Ndemba?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, well, I've applied to tender these. Maybe you can tell us about Ndemba. Can you collect my document? The last one I showed him, he has it. Oh, okay, thank you.
summary dated 12 January 2018, submitted by the Ministry of Finance through its permanent secretary, witness number 11, on 1st February 2018, relating to the Republic of China in Taiwan loan profile plus supporting loan agreements, admitted mark MS 160.
We already have 160.
You've got mark 160.
No, we don't have the last one. Sorry, I thought there was a duplication. Oh, everything is 160. Okay, thank you. Just one final issue for this witness. Mr. Jallo, I'd just like to take you to Gamtel for a moment. You were at the ministry in 2009?
Yes.
I'm going to show you some documents regarding the repurchase by Gambia government of spectrum shares. So you are aware of the...
Yes.
Okay. That spectrum bought 50% of Gamtel Gamcell,
Yes.
then government decided to purchase them back. How much the government paid, do you know?
Government paid the equivalent of $5 million.
The evidence before this commission is that $35 million was what was agreed for the repurchase, but only $5 million was paid. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay, there are some correspondences and a letter finally culminating in a letter dated December 1st, 2009, which appears to have been signed by yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll just give you these documents for you to confirm whether these were documents, the correspondence concerning the issue.
Yes, all these documents emanate from our office. The repurchase of 50% Gamtel shares from Spectrum.
Sorry. With regard to the repurchase of the shares by
shares
Gambia government from Spectrum.
Gambia, yeah, from Spectrum.
Can you
yes.
collect the documents? I just apply to have them admitted. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have these documents, correspondence mainly between the Ministry of Finance and other institutions with regard to the repurchase of the shares from 17th July 2009 to 1st December 2009 to be admitted as part of SC 61, maybe as SC 61A. 61B. 61B. Can you show the commissioners SC 61? Do we have a 61A? Should be 61A. We only have 61.
order, bundle of correspondence between various institutions on the repurchase of spectrum shares in Gamtel by the government of the Gambia for the period 17th July 2009 to 1st December 2009 is hereby ordered to be included in Exhibit SC61 and marked as SC61A.
Very much, Mr. Chairman. We just have one short witness.
Yes.
Won't take more than 30 minutes. Thank you.
Very well. So, Mr. Jalo can go.
I have no further questions for
Very
Mr.
well.
Jalo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jalo. You may go.
I call Mr. Ibrahim O. Kamara. Exhibit la.
I swear by the Almighty Allah
I swear by the Almighty Allah
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah. Thank you.
Could you state your names, please?
My name is Ibrahim O. Kamara, O standing for Usman.
Okay. Where do you live, Mr. Kamara?
I live in Brikama.
You are a public servant?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
I'm currently, just recently appointed as Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Where were you before that?
Before then, I was the Deputy Head of Mission at the Embassy of the Gambia in Brussels.
Would you like to sit down?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You served in the office of the President?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
For which periods?
From 2002 to 2011.
You were Permanent Secretary and also Secretary General?
I was Permanent Secretary. Before then, can I go on?
No. Wait for the light. Yes, you're saying you were permanent secretary, and before that?
Before then, I came to Office of the President as Director of Policy Analysis Unit.
Director of Policy Analysis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you became permanent secretary?
I became permanent secretary.
During what period did you serve as Secretary General?
As Secretary General?
Yes.
It was for a very brief period, about a month, from March 29th, the whole of April, and then on May 11th, I was relieved of that duty.
Okay. In April 2011, what office did you hold?
April 2011, I was Secretary General.
You were Secretary General. Before you became Director of Policy Analysis, where did you work?
In fact, I should make a correction that I came into the Office of the President as Principal Economist. Before then, from 1995 until 2002, I was at the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Employment.
I'm going to show you an exhibit, which is an agreement, management agreement, exhibit SC56, management agreement between Gambia Telecommunications Company Limited and TEL Incorporated.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you the signature page and confirm whether this is your signature.
Okay. Yes, ma'am, I can confirm that it's my signature.
You signed that agreement?
Yeah, I signed the document.
As Secretary General?
As Secretary General, then.
How did you come to sign an agreement between Gamtel and TEL Incorporated?
I recall this was just about a week or two into my new office as Secretary General when a group of investors came to the Office of the President at the invitation of the President because they had a meeting with him. And I was called in and introduced to this group as the new company that will take over the management of the Gateway, International Gateway.
Who called you into the meeting?
The President requested my presence in the meeting.
Who were this group that you're talking about? Who are the people?
I can't name them individually, but I think they are the ones coming from TEL International.
You can't remember any of them?
No.
You were just called in and so you signed?
Oh, no. Actually, no. I was called in and, told that this is the group that would be taking over the management of the International Gateway. And that they are here to conclude an agreement over that issue. And I was asked to work with them. I'm not sure whether the Solicitor General's office was represented, but certainly the Managing Director of Gamtel at the time, one Mr. Fode Sise, was called in to help us go through this document so that we can finalize it. And I was also made to understand that we needed to conclude it that day because this group was supposed to have left on that very day. If my memory serves me right, they were here on a private plane and they had only that day to do. It wasn't a Friday and we had to rush to do it. And having, after finishing everything, we sought the approval of His Excellency to consider the document as finalized, and if he so pleases that it should be signed, he can give directives accordingly. And this was when he said the Secretary General, that's myself, can sign on behalf of Gamtel.
Now there's the only copy we've been able to find has quite a bit of handwriting. Do you know whose handwriting that is?
No, ma'am. I don't know.
Did the copy you have any such writing?
No, the copy that I signed had no handwriting.
All right. When you were moved, where did you go? When your term ended as Secretary General, were you terminated or what? What happened?
No, I was redeployed.
Where?
2011 in May. Redeployed to Foreign Service to the embassy in Brussels.
Right. I am going to move away from that issue, but still with Gamtel.
Okay.
There is subsequently the evidence is that Gambia government agreed with Spectrum. Do you know Spectrum?
Yes, I know Spectrum.
What do you know about Spectrum?
Not much other than the fact that they were in the telecom sector, and that government had agreed to buy back some shares from Spectrum. And I happen to be the person in the office of the president dealing with a number of correspondences, not all, but dealing with communicating that decision that government will buy back the shares, and then communicating the means of financing, providing that fund. That's what I know about Spectrum.
Was there any connection between Spectrum and TEL?
Well, no, really, because I've never met the management team of Spectrum, so I wouldn't definitely know. But it seems as well. This is just my feeling that it seems as a single group coming in different forms. That's my take. A group coming in different forms.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't want to, maybe I don't want to preempt your question, but it's like these are Lebanese or people from Asia, or I mean, I don't know, but this is what occurred to me personally. I just felt that Spectrum, TEL have some linkage in the sense that one or two people, will be found in the same group at the same time. That's how
Who are these people?
Sorry?
Who were these people? The one or two people that you're mentioning?
Well, I wouldn't definitely know. For now, I wouldn't know. But if you insist, my honest view is, it might not be true because I'm under oath, but my honest view is maybe Mohammed Bazi would be part and parcel of both groups.
Okay. Why did you come to that opinion?
I think the group, TEL came to the office of the president, I think accompanied by Mohammed Bazi, if I recall well. Okay. Yeah.
When you signed that agreement, when you negotiated, you said, and signed the Exhibit 56, the exhibit that I showed you.
Yes, yes.
All right. How do you connect him to Spectrum?
All along, the impression was that Mohammed Bazi was in Spectrum. That's all. That was all. But like I said, I've never had any meeting or never seen him in any appear in any Spectrum matter. But the popular opinion then was that he was part of Spectrum. But that may not be true. I'm just saying my opinion.
But I'm going to show you some documents which are not exhibited. One is an agreement between Gambia government and Spectrum for the repurchase of 50% shares. There's a signature on it which appears to be yours, this time as a witness. Could you confirm that this is you signing as a witness to that? Did you witness that document?
Yes, ma'am, I can confirm that I witnessed this document, and the signature is mine.
Okay. And that document is for the buyback?
This document is for I think it's for the buyback.
For $35 million. How was $35 million arrived at?
I wouldn't know.
How did you come to witness it?
How did I come to witness?
Witness that document, yes.
Yeah, I think it was at the Ministry of Finance, and then they wanted someone from Office of the President to be present when this document was being signed between Ministry of Finance, the Permanent Secretary then, and I think Spectrum, yes.
What position did you hold at the time?
At the time, I must have been Permanent Secretary or Secretary to Cabinet.
Okay. You were also Secretary to Cabinet?
Yes, I think I mentioned that.
All right, just give him this correspondence. Also confirm that these are correspondence relating to the buyback issue.
Okay.
So that they can be tendered.
Yes, ma'am, they are my signatures. I think they are not serialized or numbered. So let me, sorry.
Well, in relation to is it the same buyback issue?
Yes, it's the same buyback issue.
Okay.
One is there's one dated 29th of April, this letter, which I addressed to the Honorable Attorney General and the Permanent Secretary of Communication Information, in which I conveyed that Spectrum was seeking an amendment of a particular clause on abdication. Maybe if I can read the paragraph, I can connect well. With your permission?
Certainly.
Okay. Yeah, please find attached for your perusal and review the response we received from Spectrum on the agreement signed by us and shared with them vis-a-vis the sale of Spectrum's share in Gamcell to the government of the Gambia. As indicated, Spectrum seeks amendment of Clause 4 abdication to include reciprocity in their favor. Directives are that in amending this clause, it should be spelled out clearly in the agreement that Spectrum can only be indemnified from judicial action upon their release of all the documents, including the share certificates. Kindly take necessary action in order to speedily conclude and get the agreement signed, possibly with the company's representatives they promised to designate on this.
Okay. So it's all about the buyback.
It's all about the buyback.
Point. Okay. Could you put it together? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can we collect the documents? Are you aware that the buyback ended in a payment by government?
No, I wasn't aware.
So you just wrote those correspondences.
Yeah.
Why were you not aware?
Why was I not aware?
Why were you not aware of how the matters ended?
Well, I don't know exactly. It just depends on sometimes information is on, on who needs to know. And information on a particular issue depends on who needs to know. And a matter I can initiate correspondences on may be concluded in such a way, but the ending I really wouldn't know. It depends on the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service who handles all correspondences to let me know what really happened regarding the ending of a particular matter. So I really didn't know.
Interesting. Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have admitted an agreement dated 27th of May 2009 between the Government of the Republic of the Gambia and Spectrum International Investment Holding SAL for the purchase of 50% of the Gamtel and 50% of Gamcel shares in the sum of 35 million by the Gambia government, and related correspondence signed by this witness between the government and Spectrum and various institutions. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, may I apply for it to be admitted as SC61B? It's the same subject matter. SC61B.
Agreement dated order. This is an order. Agreement dated 27th May 2009 between Government of the Gambia and Spectrum International Investment Holding, SAL. Resettlement of dispute plus related correspondence for the period 29th April 2009 to 14th July 2009 is hereby ordered to be included in Exhibit SC61 and marked SC61B.
Most obliged, Mr. Chairman. I have no further questions for this witness.
So, very well, we'll rise and we'll be back on Monday at 10 o'clock. You are released.
Thank you.